The new Primal Fear. Fuck yeah, dude. One of my all-time favorite power metal bands, if not my favorite power metal band. It's tough to choose. I would somewhat argue that... Someone also argue that they're not true power metal. They're more heavy metal. Bah. Excuse me. How's everybody doing? Ton Guitarra. Bo, how's it going? Pedro. How's everybody doing? I'm excited to be here today. We're going to be professional. We're going to be professional. We're going to be professional. Okay? I'm not going to do what everybody thinks I'm going to do. I'm going to be professional. I'm going to call these plugins by the... Now you stop it. You can't do it. Don't do it. Fucking knobs! Couldn't hold it back, guys. Fucking knobs are in the house. And now I want to point out something very clear here. When I say it in that accent, I say it that way. I'm not making fun. It's not making fun of anything. It's just the fun to say. Say it with me. In your best Boston accent. Fucking knobs. Oh, it sounds so good. It's liberating. Dude, I highly suggest that you do it. Anyways, there's going to be a few of those today. I'm sorry. But we're checking out a bunch of the One Knob, Amp Knob plugins from... We're going to talk about these plugins. I've also got a bunch of them loaded up today to go and screw around with if we're still having a good time after these Marshalls. No. That's also really fun to say with your best Boston accent. Marshalls, fucking One Knob Marshalls. Oh, that's just great. It's liberating. I can feel that in my soul. Thank you so much to Bogren and most notably Jacek. I wish I knew. I'm going to ask him how to the phonetic way to say his awesome Polish name, because I know a couple of Jareks. I have a couple of them in my life. And I know a lot of Polish people. I also know Marek. I know a few Mareks. And I want to make sure. I feel like the C is going to be a ch sound. I feel like it's going to be Jacek. If I'm not, I'd have to look into this because I've been calling him Jacek, and that's really North American of me. By the way, let's get this out of the way as well. I had one creator I was talking with, and reached out to me, and he's like, "Hi, my name is..." I can't remember, what did he say now? Oh, I can't remember who it was. Dang it. It also happened recently with Marek. Well, let's just take him as an example, not a creator, but Marek at Aurora DSP said, "My name's Marek, but you can call me Mark. It's it's like Mark, but the North American in North American." I said, no, we don't do that here. Maybe they do that I know they do that a lot in the States, where they try to Americanize everyone's fucking name so they can say it properly. And I think there's nothing more insulting. And if I went to another country, I'd be like, "My name's Tyler." I wouldn't try to I would put it into their language. Just, can you please call me, at least try to call me by my real name? That'd be great. So we don't do that here. So I just want to point that out. So I'm not just going to call him Jason. You know what I mean? I want to make sure we get the name right. Marshall. How's it going? Thomas, Rudy, these do the Slayer thing, Iron Maiden thing, Metallica Testament thing. They are wicked. Fuck yeah, man. That's why I'm here. I'm excited about it. Let's talk a little bit about Primal Fear too. It's fucking hilarious and kind of super small worldish that this girl, Talia, that a ways back, I think maybe about, 3, 4, 5 years ago now, I was actually helping her set up a plug-in rig at home. I had reached out to her. I reach out to random guitar players that interest me, and I asked her if she'd like to do some plug-in demos, and she said, "I'd love to, but I can't because I don't really have a plug-in. I don't have a way to test them. I don't have a way to use them. I just have amps." And I said, "Well, if you're willing to learn and get the equipment and get the stuff, I'd be happy to teach you, because I've taught probably, like, at this point, got to be well over 100 people how to use amp sims from scratch, and well over 100 at this point." whether local or non-local. I've tried so hard so many times to just because I want people to feel what I want people to hear and feel what I'm doing, you know, like what I'm feeling and what I'm hearing with these amp sims, especially if they're on the fence. If they're like, you know, analog loyalists, it's tougher to get them off that, you know, over the fence. But people are just sort of on the fence and they're like interested. That's easy. Bring it in. Bring it in. We got to give you a big hug. And if you're out there and you're watching this and you need help, you're like, man, your videos are awesome. I love listening to about this stuff. I'm so interested. And you just don't know how to do her. Let me know. Okay. This is not on my list and I don't want to take chance with, this is the new, no, I don't want to do the new Primus. I love Primus, but I don't have trust in that I won't get nuked for copyrights and stuff. So, which I already do. So it's not much of a big deal anyways. All right, guys. Anyone who says doing accents is offensive are just butthurt because they can't do them or they're stuck with that accent that gets a lot of ribbing. It's not so much that I think people will be offended. I just don't want the people at Bogren to think that I'm talking shit on their plugins by saying fucking knobs. It's it's just so much fun to say it. Even I hope around the Bogren offices, they eventually at some point, I want to know if maybe they come around and start calling them the fucking knobs. There's got to be knob jokes going on around Bogren Digital. I mean, we're talking about the company. Like, if you go into their IR packs, you see some of the titles on those files. There is a sense of humor at Bogren Digital. There's definitely a sense of humor. So, holy shit, we're like a few minutes in. Let's get to the meat and the potatoes. Okay, these are based on 3 different amps. This one, Bo, you know, if Bo wants to shoot it into the comments, I don't know. I think this is okay. So as far as I understand, this one's a plexi. This one is a JVM, and this one is this one is obviously an 800 because it says 800. Or is this a JTM, or is this based on plexi, which are very closely related anyhow? But Bo is our resident Marshall expert. He's going to be helping us out on this one. He is the Marshall expert. And when I say he's a Marshall expert, I'm not fucking around. Dude, you go ahead. If you're in the comments right now, you're in the chat, and you want to throw any Marshall question you could ever imagine at this dude, Bo knows. It's like that shirt from the 80s. I got to get it. Can someone, you know what? I'm not even going to get you to look it up, but if you want to, that's fine. There must be a place printing Bo knows shirts with it was a Nike logo, I think. Was it a Nike logo or Reebok, or I think it was Nike. But if there is a Bo knows shirt, I'm fucking getting it. I'm going to get it. All right, so we're just getting into this today. I'm having a fucking kick-ass day. I worked a half day today. Had a short appointment, and then I came home with a Kentucky Fried Chicken Zinger Ultimate Box Meal, which includes the popcorn chicken, the gravy, the fries, and the sandwich. And I ate that whole some bitch. I ate the whole thing, and then I took a nap with my cat. It's awesome. Day's going great. So this is my Zinger Tempest. By the way, if you're attracted to this instrument, please do ask me the questions, all the questions possible. But one thing, if you're asking me about woods and shit, I know Daryl would probably want to kick my ass for not knowing all of that, but I really would have to go and look up I have to go and look up the specs, because I'm an absolute moron when it comes to like woods and tone woods and this and that. I have no idea which woods. I know there are multiple woods. I know there are a lot of woods, multiple woods, brown woods, black. I'm not going to do the impression of that guy because that's one accent I can't do. But ask me and I will try to fire it at you. We're going to start with the BDM 75. I'm going to be adding pedals. I'm going to be fucking around with my own IRs in this one because they make it real easy. There's pow. There's just modern cab, vintage cab. Here's my one complaint. My only complaint. I really do feel like these could feature just one or two. Like, I know they've got the 2 cabs with the IRDX technology. Also, it'd be cool if there's a way to somehow bypass the IRDX technology for those of us that don't aren't really 100% down. I'm not saying I'm not down with the feature. I just have, I prefer things. I don't necessarily need it. Okay. So it'd be cool also if on top of the 2 cabs, they were to include, because they do have all those IR packs, it'd be cool if what they would include would be like, and this would be a marketing angle for Bogren as well. And why not include, if you hit load IR, I don't see anything there, right? So Bogren Digital, no. Will they give me the cabinets from this? What's the story? No, they don't. Okay, so it'd be cool if what they were to do is, let's go to the screen. It'd be cool if they were to do, like, say, a free tester pack, where they take their preferred 1 or 2 at most from all of their packs and put them into a pack of, like, say 20 IRs and attach them along with these plugins, just for people that want to get maybe even more of a vibe off of what they can do with, they've got 1 cab, 2 cabs, 1 knob, and then that's kind of constricting, and you want to, like, let the consumer, let the customer breathe a little bit more. That's literally, I think, my only it's my only suggestion about these, is including some sort of a pack. And then that way, if they fall in love with any of those IRs, on top of that, they can be like, oh, I know I love this IR. I'm just going to go buy this fucking pack now, this whole pack, or I'm going to go buy a bunch of packs. That's just a suggestion. Again, so let's get to this. Oh, already I am already pretty excited about what's happening here. I see what this... Oh, I've got the dead horse on. That sounds pretty good. My level's very hot, though. Of course, I had to leave it there. Sounding good? So far, so good. Those BDMs are cool. I've had slightly better luck with the Kerry King from Softtube. Hey, BJ, though, do you want to know the heartbreaking thing about this? Yeah, I know you probably already own it, but the Kerry King Marshall, we got to do it, guys. This is becoming way too common. I had only heard about it like once or twice before this, but it's becoming more common that let's say signature artists, influencers, whoever, and companies, much like the companies. Okay, I have seen it with a lot of companies. A lot of analog companies have licensed their tech in blocks, where there's like, a 5-year deal, or a 3-year deal, or a 1-year deal. And then after that, it's up for grabs again. Plugin developers would bid on it, the licensing, and then they would continue with that license. If a prime example would be, let's say Angle. Angle went from Brainworks to Softtube, and then, as far as I've heard, this is just a little bird told me that there may also be a new home for Angle on the plugin market that you can look forward to in 2025. Also, Mesa Boogie has licensed to multiple companies. Ampeg pulled their licensing from a couple of companies, but the plugin stayed for sale. Okay, so that was the thing. The plugin stayed for sale, but the licensing changed hands. Now, with the signature thing, we've seen it where a plugin, a signature artist, has their contract ended, whether it was, I don't know, in some situations, like the Misha plugin, it just disappeared. No mention of it, no nothing. It's poof, gone. Rex Brown, also, his name no longer on the poof, it's gone. Rex Brown's name, poof, no longer on his bone, they renamed it the Bone Crusher. So we've seen it a few times now, and then we saw it with Kerry King as well. Kerry King soft tube Marshall, no longer for sale on the soft tube website. That is kind of a bummer because that plugin is really cool. I really like it. It's a really nice plugin. In fact, all those signature Marshalls are really good. And the thing is about SoftTube is a big company, and we've talked about this before, how Neural DSP is sort of the perception of many AmpSim users is Neural DSP is the largest company in this industry, and I would agree that's mostly true. That's true for companies that only focus on AmpSims. However, SoftTube is in my opinion, an even bigger company, and they focus on a number of different things. So what I'm getting at here is that SoftTube really likes that Marshall licensing, but could that also move someday at some point? Who knows? So this in particular, however, today we're testing the Bogren Digital Amp Knob BDM series, and wow, so far so good. Rudy, man, we could go on a real long discussion here. One that would end up with a certain developer probably in my comments saying something. I know a lot of things, my friend. And I know some things about that situation, but again, we're not gonna get too far into that. That would really derail our conversation. And I always wondered though, why Misha, to kind of piggyback on your comment, I always wondered why has Misha not done another AmpSim at this point? Why has GGD, because I believe he's still one of the guys at GGD, I was always wondered why they didn't do AmpSims. They do cabs, they do a bunch of other stuff, and while they might not have a coder in-house that does AmpSims, it would not be hard for GGD to just tap a number of developers on the shoulder and say, hey, do you want to partner up on something? Do you mind building some stuff for us? As we're all aware, and we've discussed ad nauseum, subcontracting is a huge thing in plugin land. Some of the plugins that you know and love might be actually made by another company it's very interesting. So we're not going to get to that today, although it potentially could be a potentially relatable subject in this case, but yeah, I would imagine that anywhere that has that, like Plugin Boutique, anybody that's bought licenses and purchased licenses from the company to sell through Plugin Boutique, I would imagine they'll be burning those out really fast now that the plugin is officially discontinued. I would imagine was it aggressively on sale? Is it still aggressively on sale? Because if it is aggressively on sale, I would say anybody that doesn't go and grab the SoftTube Kerry King signature is insane. That thing is really nice. It's a great plugin. It doesn't necessarily do the Slayer sound, but it does some hard rock, and it lead tones. Very interesting. Very nice lead tones that come out of that bad boy. And as you can see, and one thing about BJ Russell is BJ is not a lover of bad tone. So if one guy in the comments here, there's a number of people I can say this about in our comments in our chat. If certain people, when they praise a plugin, you listen because they're correct. They are correct. If they're saying it's good, it's good. And BJ is one person that I definitely trust when it comes to exactly that. So feel free to ask about different plugins. We're gonna do a modded Marshall stream, but there's one release I'm waiting for. There is, and I can't say which developer it's coming from, but you are going to get another modified Marshall this year that is going to be very, very cool. I've tested it a few times in its alpha stages, and I've been somewhat of a collaborator on the project. And I can tell you, I just want to wait for this one to come out, and then we are going to plow a whole bunch. We're going to do a 3 or even 4-hour modified Marshall Paradise run through the Marshalls with modifications. Not just stock Marshalls, but modified Marshalls. We're going to do that at some point. So let's get on to this. This is based on, as far as, what did Bo say? Super lead. Okay, so this is based on the super lead, and the channel here, as you can see, does the jumpy thing. And if you're not familiar with what the jumpy thing is, that's the old Marshalls had the 4 inputs, and to get more distortion, you just fucking jump them back and forth with these little cables. Or in Jimi Hendrix's case, full length fucking coiled cables. You look back at those Jimi Hendrix, some of those Hendrix live shows, and homie's got like he's got big full ass cables going this far and just hanging over his shit. That would drive me bananas. This song fucking rips. Talco in the background. So essentially, Bo can explain, or you guys can just go and look on Google or right up here in the search on YouTube, and somebody else can explain exactly what it does when you jump those inputs. But I'm not your guy. So let's kind of just... All right. I'm not noticing a whole bunch of difference. Hold on. Let me hear. Okay, now I am. Nice. Yeah, I can definitely hear it now. All right, I figured out I don't want to use that pick. I decided to give it another go, but this V-Pick Snake, I actually didn't use it for a really long time. I had it. It came in a pack I got from V-Picks, and I just never really used it. This thing is thick, boy, but it's got these wonderful bevels on them, and man, you should really check it out. Check out V-Picks. I'm not at all, I've never gotten anything from them or nothing. But as you guys know, if I think it's cool, and I think that you guys might think it was cool, I would love to pass over the word. Let's throw a screamer. Nah, that doesn't hit the right way. Let's try the other cab. $40 for that plugin, guys. If that plugin is at $40, get her, get it done. Kyle, how's it going, my friend? How weird is it that I was about to play this riff and then the song was in the background? Like the modern cab, better. With Marshalls and one knob, I struggle a little bit with Marshalls and one knob because I know that depending on the pickups I'm using, the guitar, and a few other factors, I may really need access to that presence knob, the presence and the top end, because that really can control everything else. I think could be set and you set it and forget it, for me anyways. But I think with the presence and the treble control, for me, not having those controls with in a Marshall scenario, that to me is like kind of, it's causing a little bit of grief, and like, just because I'm so used to it and needing to adjust it so often. Let's try it with the unified preamp for funskies. Pretty cool, guys. The first one, we are in the first amp right now. We're just checking this out. We're chilling. We're going to go, as Bo said, just, ballpark between 5 and 6, maybe even closer to 6. As he mentioned, that's kind of your sweet spot. I need to check these out, these new knobs. I'm waiting until I have enough time to do a video with the 14-day trial period. That'd be cool, man. I know you're a busy guy. You're pumping out content like crazy. And I did get your message on Instagram. And yeah, man, we'll definitely hook you up with some rock. I'll get you a copy of the Diamond Sound. Thank you, sir. Appreciate the kind words. Yeah, you deserve it, man. You know your tone. And I love people and really appreciate people in this community that know their tone. And that meaning they just know good tone. And there are a lot of people here like that, and you can just tell. Like Rudy Castillo, Bo, another couple of people commenting right now that I trust what both these guys are throwing down at all times. If they're telling me something's good, I believe it's good, because I know in the past they've not misled me to think that something that's shitty is good. It's pretty much as simple as she goes, and I hope that you guys get that same vibe from this channel, because we never want to steer you towards something that sounds or performs like garbage. I really do find myself wanting a bit of a screamer out in front. I'm going to get the Reaper for this. I am going to do the Reaper for this because the Reaper is a pretty easy going tube screamer. There's a number of tube screamers I could grab, but this one's pretty fun. The Dead Horse I find is a little too severe, although I could very easily just dial. Oh wait, I've also got. Let me try the Dead Horse because I had the controls way up. Let's try this again. That one sounds good. Let's try the Reaper. This one's pretty sweet too. I like the Dead Horse for now, but I'm just going to leave it. It's going to be there if I need it. This one's pretty easy going. We're going to try a couple of different IRs. As mentioned, you guys know I've always got to use the EGA, even though it's not a Marshall, technically. We're going to use the EGA. Let's see what we got here. Oh, man. EGA knows. It just knows. Sounds pretty good. I kind of want to go to MS. Let's try that again. I can't speak, apparently. I know that ML Sound Lab has some nice Marshalls here as well. I'm going to check out their Marshalls. Let's check out a couple of the mixes here. There it is. Gnarly from the Mofo. The Mars Mofo Gnarly mix is going to be, that's going to be our benchmark for, we're going to use that a bunch of times throughout all three of these. Sounds pretty good. It's got that nice. Wow. That sounds really good. Even though that band uses rectifiers, and I do have the Rev C in the list today, so maybe I'll save that riff. That riff being No Use for a Name. What a band. It's really too bad that Tony Sly passed away, because I would have loved to have heard what they would be up to these days with the resurgence. And a lot of these skate punk bands that I know and love, they're still kicking. They're still kicking around, and yeah, it's pretty awesome. Okay, hold on. I'm so glad reading through this. I'm so glad we have Bo on board. This is what I'll say about Amp Knob Marshall plugins. I'm still on the demo stage with them. The 14 days, they're so simple to use. They rip, and they are better than any Marshall plugins I've ever used. Okay, I would challenge only in the sense of, have you ever used the Mercurial Audio Spark? That is the Marshall plugin to beat. I don't think these beat that so far, but it's not really, because they include some different amps than we're going to see here. The JVM, however, there is no JVM, although we did have this discussion back in January when we were talking about products from the analog world that I believe, and we believe here at the Amp Team Universe, are about to be obsessed over. One of the ones we guessed was Modified Marshalls. And what, lo and behold, has come out? Modified Marshalls. And there's going to be more. One of those is going to be a JVM. I think also the JVM, you're going to see that amp get some love, although I've heard that it's quite a lot under the hood going on there. It's not an easy bird. However, with different tech and different ways of modeling these days and having things come where they are, I think we're going to see some love for the JVM this year. That was the other one, another one of the amps that we guessed. But we did say this year we're going to see a lot more love for Modified Marshalls, and so far there's a couple of them that have come out. One that we know is coming out later in the year that is, I'm telling you, it is going to be the Rolls Royce, folks. As far as I can see things, if they pan out the way that I think they might, it might be a bit of a Rolls Royce. We'll see. You have a JVM in its real existence. I know Miko had a few good pre-roll Marshalls. Yeah, there's the Giants pack as well. I've got that. But my favorite Marshall cabinet maybe ever. I love me a 1960B slant cab. Love me that cab. But there's no saying that the MF Marshall cabinet, I think is the MF 100. It came with that really beastly 300 watt solid state amp or whatever it was, that crazy thing. The amp wasn't a big deal, but the cab turned out to be a very big deal, which is interesting. Kind of like the opposite of the valve state. The valve state ended up being a big deal, with the valve state cabinet ended up being a fucking dud. Can you imagine? God, that just came to my brain. Can you imagine what it would sound like to put in real life, put a Marshall valve state on top of a Marshall MF 100 cab? Oh my God. That would be a fun rig to own. I watched that video the other day again. I think I've seen it 150 times where Vince Neil it's doing the fucking subtitles for his lyrics. Oh my God. That's still to this day, right now, it's still funny. It's still funny right now. It's so funny just at what level he was mailing it in. Apparently he's still doing it too. Knowing full well that people are going to call him out for it. Vince Neil is still doing the whole Key Stop Maha. Key Stop Maha. Come on, man. Quit mailing it in. You're getting paid a lot of fucking money, Vince. God damn. How's everybody doing? Obviously, there's not 2 people here. How many people do we have today? 13. Wow, I missed a bunch of comments, guys. Sorry. Holy cow, I missed a shit ton of comments. It's been doing this to me. I really need a better way to monitor comments. By the way, check out Baritone Goat Studios, guys. He does fantastic content. Okay, I think I'm almost caught up. I know the stream is for Marshall, but I have to tell you, Nambrini is giving away the Cali Verb for free. Go ahead, man. We just chat here. Nambrini Audio giving away the Cali Reverb for free. Man, it's a good amp. It's a great plugin based on the Rectoverb, if I'm not mistaken, and it's awesome. It really is. It's a very strong plugin, guys. Go grab it. Mode 40. That's right. The Mode 4 cab. So the JVM is the Satriani amp, is it not? If I'm not mistaken. What was Loomis using when he was in Arch Enemy? Was he not using the JVM for a bit? What was he using? Because I know there was a thing where they forced him. It was like a Megadeth thing where he's forced to use Marshall. Yeah, I know a particular developer that just bought an entire Mode 4 stack for a really good price. Just because he wanted the cabinet, he bought the stack. He's a certain developer that is currently he's not modeling a Mode 4. Maybe he's doing the cab. I'm not sure, but I just received a message saying, hey, look at this. And he got the stack at a really good price. All right, keep playing here. Holy shit, that sounds really good though, folks. Let's crank that gain up and see what we get out of it. I love the twang right now, guys. I love the twang in this. That sounds really good. I really like it. I like it a lot. Oh my God. I love this guitar so much. I love it. I can't tell you how much I love this fucking guitar. Meinzinger guitars. Thank you so much. Meinzinger guitars. Aurora Tone pickups in here. Just because I love to talk about this guitar and obvious reasons. I have to talk about the guitar at least once in a while. It doesn't, that's part of the job, right? But I wouldn't talk about something that sucked. And it's very, very clear to anybody that's watched a stream of mine with me playing this guitar that I'm absolutely in love with it. And if you watch any of my other content, you'll know that I'm also very picky about the guitars that I play. So this one in particular, the neck feels like a wizard neck. And I know this because I know Daryl at Meinzinger he's a closet, not even a closet, but he's an Ibanez lover. He loves his Ibanez, loves the feel of Ibanez necks as well. This to me feels a lot like an Ibanez neck, and which was like the best thing ever for me because goddamn, I love a good wizard neck. Nicest necks in the history of guitar, my opinion. You don't have to agree. The nicest feeling necks. Depends on the quality, but you can even go get like a cheap RG, and as long as it's got a wizard neck, you're going to be playing on a nice feeling neck with great frets. and they don't really cheap out. They're really still really diligent with their fretwork as well at Ibanez. Even on the lower end models, they're pretty hardcore about their fretwork. So even on the cheaper ones, you won't get they won't be too bad as far as what needs to be worked on or polished or fret ends filed, etc. Okay, so it wasn't. I know Loomis loves boogies. He also loves angles. We're listening to some Slayer in the background. New Kramers have those nice thin neck. Man, I've always wanted a Kramer. I've always wanted a Kramer with the hockey stick headstock, man. I have a knockoff Kramer head neck on a guitar, but I should pull it out at some point. Let's move along to the next. We've been on the BDM 75 for a bit. Let's try the 410 JVH. Now, I'm really curious about this one. Let's turn off my cab and go with... I like that a bit less. Actually, no. It's nice. Rudy, why did I just know that about you? So you love the neck on like a Schecter? A Schecter 8-string with a neck that feels like you could build a fence with it? Or a Gibson SG neck? Oh, there is no better looking guitar. Every time I see an SG, I'm like, how are you doing? And then I think to myself, it's like something smacks me. It's like, what are you looking at? You know that neck's not for you. You just know that neck's not for you. I played one SG ever with a thin neck, and I wanted to buy it so fucking bad, but it was like ridiculously, horribly, awfully smoke damaged, like cigarette smoke damage, to the point that I just knew that there was no treatment that was getting all that smoke damage out of that fucking instrument. So I couldn't buy it. It just killed me inside. I wanted to buy it so bad, and I was so mad at this guy. I looked at him. I was just like, man. It just smelled like, it literally smelled like this guy sat beside this guitar, smoking, chain smoking right beside this guitar for like 30 years. To where I had to wash my hands. I really liked playing it. I had to wash my hands and my clothes. I had to wash my hands about 10 times to get the smell off my hands. And I had to wash my clothes. It smelled like I had been playing in a bar circa 2003, prior to the smoking ban in bars here where I live. We used to have clothes. We used to have clothes in our van. We had our stage clothes, and we would keep the stage clothes with the equipment, because our stage clothes, we couldn't wash our stage clothes all the time. So it was one of those things where we had to keep our stage clothes with the gear because it stunk. It could smell like cigarette smoke. And we didn't want to smell like that in the van. It got to that point where it was really, dad sounds, old man noises. It smelled really bad. I don't know why that makes me think about, we went on an offshoot there. That's okay though. We like to do that here. Let's see what we got here. If you're in the chat, by the way, say hi. I know there are a bunch of you out there that are just chilling. Come on, guys, say hi. 17 people in here. We've got 4 people talking, 5 people chit-chatting. Let's hear from you guys if you guys want to win something. Not today. I'm not giving away anything today. I suppose I could have asked, but I don't like to. I mean, I don't know Bogren that well. They're very kind to me, but I don't know if they want to do contests and stuff like that. However, that being said, there will always be contests around these parts, and we're going to try to organize some more in the coming months, just because, I mean, they're fun, right? Main guitar is based on a 7-string Loomis neck. Strictly 7 strictly 7. A 6-string Ola model, but they did a Loomis profile for me. I remember that company. That company's out of business now, right? If I'm not mistaken, are they in business, out of business? What's happening there? It sounds really nice. It's a weird strumming pattern. If you've ever heard of the song Sticking in My Eye by NoFX. Fuck, I always screw it up. I fucking screwed it up again. One of the strangest bands when it comes to strumming, man. Seriously, a very interesting band. If you've ever tried to learn any NoFX songs, there's a lot with that standard skate punk kind of da 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 da. This whole thing. That's pretty standard. They'll get some of that, but man, with those guys, they have some really unique picking. El Jefe does not fuck around. That guy is a really good guitar player, folks. Like really, really schooled and really great guitar player. Super bummer. I actually got emotional. I don't get very emotional when it comes to bands, really. I really don't. I know a lot of people, like, you know, at the farewell shows, a lot of bands get very emotional. And I've always been like, really? Really? You're going to get emotional because it's a band's final show? You can just listen to the music. But then watching, I said that with the big balls, and then I went and watched the entirety of the NoFX farewell show. Holy cow. There was a lot of old crusty punk dudes crying on that stage. And it got to me at one point, and I noticed I was feeling pretty sad at one point. I was like, God damn, what are you doing? Acting like a damn fool. Bo, if I'm not mistaken, Angus Young likes the necks like that. If I'm not mistaken, the Angus Young SGs have that neck profile, right? Because the one I actually played was an Angus Young signature model. It had the nice AC/DC bolts in for the fret markers. Fuck, I wanted that guitar. He was only selling it for like $1,200. Canadian. I was so mad at that guy. I mean, man, I felt like saying, you need to be charged with guitar abuse. God damn it, dude. It's just so frustrating that this dude, like, and he had 5 or 6 other guitars, and he's still selling them on, like, the local marketplace. He's been selling them now for years. He bought a bunch of those Kraken guitars, and he's been selling them on a local marketplace here for years. And I guaranteed everybody that's ever gone to see them picked them up and went, Ew, dude, no. Guaranteed, because all the guitars are just destroyed with nicotine and cigarette smoke damage. Just, there's no worse way for a guitar to go down. I would rather see a guitar burn. I'm just going to say it out loud. I would rather watch that guitar burn. Somebody pour lighter fluid on it and just fucking set it on fire, because that's better for the guitar than... It basically gave the guitar cancer, dude. Guitar cancer is all you did. You gave yourself cancer and the guitar cancer. Not that there's anything funny about cancer. Not even a little bit. I am not making fun of that and all. But you see my reference. You see my analogy here. So this thing's pretty cool as well. If you guys are just joining and you're just jumping in, we've got the Bogren Digital fucking knob. Fucking knobs. Knobs. The one knob series, phenomenally popular with people that just don't want to deal with dialing anything in. They either don't know how, or they want to trust somebody else to do it, or they're one of those people that just lives and dies by the preset, and they want something really easy, or something that's just, hey, this sounds really good. I don't have the time. I just want to create. This is why when I see there's another plugin, it's 3 very bright colors, and the whole marketing aspect of it was, when you don't want to when you don't need to tweak things in and you just want to create. Okay, I get that, but that's what presets are for in any plugin, dude. Any plugin. Every serious plugin out there has presets that are designed to get you to where you need to be very quickly. So in this case, they've just ripped all the guts out, ripped all the knobs off, and set it the way that set it, forget it, and just move along. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, that is incredibly constricting and limiting. And if you're one of those people out there like me, for example, when these first came out, I was like, man, geez Louise, that's very constricting. I don't know about these. It's going to take me some time to figure this out. I don't know about this stuff. And then I kind of figured it out. Yeah, these are all really set up nicely. And where you get more versatility and more use out of it is with IRs. They give you 2. As mentioned, I think it'd be cool if they got like their greatest hits pack and put it together and sent it along with these plugins, so that when you hit this load IR button, it goes straight to a Bogren Digital folder and gives you, access to, like, say 10 more IRs. That's 10 more sounds. In very case in point, actually I'm not going to do it yet, but it's in one of my favorites folders. I've got a few of the Bogren Digital files that sound really great. So that would be straight to something like that. I think that would give these plugins even more value and more use, because when you're loading different IRs, they're phenomenally different sounds. Like we're going to do right now, we're going to go, so modern cab, let's do the... So that gives you an idea of what you're getting on board. The 2 cabinets, one is a bit thinner and more focused. The other one is a bit boomier. And it's almost like a cab 1 for rhythm and cab 2 for lead would probably be a good idea. Now I'm going to go off the menu a little bit. Oh, not going to go load IR. I'm just going to go no cab. I'd rather use my own loader. It's just a bit easier for me to move around. I do that with almost every plugin. It's not that I don't want your loader. It's that I would just prefer to use my own. All right, I'm going to go to the ML SoundLab Mars Mofo Gnarly Mix. Now, the reason I say this is because while Bogren Digital does IRs, I wouldn't necessarily say that they're the best. The Bogren packs are really good, but I think there are companies that are just more experienced with making the highest quality IRs in the business. ML Sound Lab, Dr. Bonkers, Own Hammer, Red Wires. You guys just, you name it. You guys know that these companies exist, and they've been making IRs for a really long time. So that's why I say, like, never be afraid to live outside the box. In this particular case, I could have stayed inside the box and just easily hit the load IR button, loaded the same IR, and been on my merry way. So you can live inside the box, and just, I would suggest getting some IRs and building a collection. If you don't already have an IR collection, I would strongly advise that you do it, because it's only going to build more sound. Okay, hold on. Oh, really? He's still doing guitars? He owns a little guitar shop and builds private. That's cool. It's called Vilder Guitars. Nice. Vilder. But you're dead on the neck. Okay, I get it. For me, the knobs are a tool for just hearing what a riff sounds like with an amp, but minus the tweaking baked in. Jeff Dufour, the bad boy for the win. I don't know what that meant. The bad boy for the win? Jeff Dufour, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Nice to jump into the chat. Nice to jump into the community. I've not seen you comment before. As always, when I see somebody new that jumps in, I always like to say, hi, my name is Tyler. Welcome to the AmSim universe, and we appreciate you being here. We typically like to have giveaways, and in any situation, if you're a brand new commenter and someone in the chat, we do also like to offer, like, sometimes I'll throw out little prizes and stuff. But being that this is a Bogren digital stream, I don't want to give out a prize from a different developer. So, but please do make sure to chime in again, and we'll see what we can do for you. Which one is the T75 in that pack? I would assume, and I'm not answering this sarcastically, but I'm going to answer it and say probably the BDM 75. Just kidding, buddy. Is it the straight or angled? In that pack, sorry, I didn't know what you meant. I knew, okay. The 2 Madsen IR pack is fantastic. Amp 5 and bottom left, I think. What are we talking about right now? Amp 5 and bottom left? It really is, Kyle. Okay. Wow, this really sounds good with that mofo cabinet. It sounds really, really good. Like, really good. And the Marshall stack. When I was growing up, stacks were not affordable for most guitar players. They just weren't. And when I started going to shows, the majority of bands I went to see were using combo amps. Everybody in the community, everybody in the scene here was using combo amps, except for a handful of dudes. And I remember I still to this day remember the first time I stood in front of a Marshall stack, and it actually belonged to one of our community members and a fella that comments a lot around here in Exhumed Corpse. Oh, that sounds so good, dude. Woo! Man, you know what I got to tell you guys? This is going to be an old man rant coming in hot. For years and decades, generations, the word bro survived. It survived. It was used by everyone. Bro, how you doing? But man, Gen Z got a hold of bro and absolutely destroyed it. I was watching a body cam, like, I don't care what you're watching, but it's so crazy. It's so crazy. And I hear kids as young as like in like as young as 10. In the place that I work at, I work with children. And these kids, it's bro, girls, bro. Kids calling their parents bro. Kids are calling their parents, bro. Oh my goodness gracious. Anyways, I was watching body cam footage today, and they went on this guy that just had trashed his house or something. And this guy was broing like I've never heard anybody bro in my life. And I'm like, man, that word died. That word is now dead. It's gone. I'm sorry, guys. I hate it, but it's gone. Let's talk about, how about amps? Ooh, man. Here's what I want from Jens Bogren. Since he often will put Amon Amarth in his credits, I want to see a signature amp sim. I want to see a signature amp suite for Amon Amarth, please. And Opeth, while you're at it as well, please, sir. That would be wonderful. Can we have that? Bro. Yeah, man, the gnarly mix here sounds gigantic, and it's not even the ballsy one. There's also radiant, snuggly, tidy. Oh, that's a little strange. So snuggly or gnarly here. Maybe a way to describe yourself to someone in, like, if you're on like a dating site. Well, how do you describe yourself in 2 words? Gnarly and snuggly, bro. And you never got a date. Funny story about this song. This riff right here. This riff right, the main riff in this song. Had a drunk friend of mine. We were listening to this song and made up like a whole like this very strange like dance, but we were all dying. Talking about a guy that's like 6'5" or 6'6" and 300 pounds in a leather jacket doing this like, because he's like, does anybody have a beer? I said, you're gonna have to dance for it. Dance for it, baby. And he started dancing to this song, and I gave him more than 1 beer. This was back when I drank, of course. But man, this song is absolutely hysterical. Sorry, the dance was hysterical. I don't know why I wanted to share that. Rest in peace, by the way, to LG Petrov. Yeah, so we're having a good time here, man. Like these all sound really good. I was very interested when these came out today. We're gonna move along to the 800. Gonna go all on board for a sec. Okay, so I didn't. Hang on! Hold up! Why? What? Why have you no... What? I'm so confused right now. The One Knob series has several controls on the back and only 1 control on the front. I'm very confused right now. Nothing even makes sense. Nothing makes sense to me anymore. What's going on? The guy inside me is just like, too many fucking knobs. Anyways, this comes with a full selection of verb and delay. Very interesting. Very the lead knob, they're calling it. The BDM 800 lead knob. I think anybody can make a lead, though. It's nice that they've included it. And I see what they're doing here. Oh, I see. Bad boy for the win. I get it now. I haven't got there yet. So the fella, Jeff Dufour. Was it Jeff Dufour? Billy Dufour. Steve Dufour. Alejandro Dufour. Where's the comment now? It's gone. Jeff Dufour. I see what he said now. I see. Sorry, Jeff. I hadn't got there yet. I'm sorry. I'm doing these blind. Okay, we've talked about blind testing before, and it's not something I do with every company unless I know it's going to be awesome. I'd argue to say that you can make a really great lead tone out of any of these plugins, and all you need is something like this is free delay from Nembrini Audio. This is 100% free. This is the analog rack delay. You can get this for free. I use it in any stream you guys hear delay. The majority of the time, this is the one. This lives in my channel. This is free. And for reverb, there's a lot of different options out there. But I mean, I use M Convolution EZ for a bit of a room verb, just for mostly for me in the headphones because I hate dry guitar. And I've also got the Rotten Pool verb here from Aurora DSP. But that being said, it's nice to have it all in one section here. But here's what I would argue. If you're using this on a recording, you're not going to want to use this reverb and delay. This would work more for like standalone usage. But if you're using it in a mix, you're going to have to bypass this section anyway, because you're going to have to put an EQ in there, and you're not going to put EQ after you're not traditionally not going to put your EQ after your delay and your verb. So that's why this one is interesting to me. I appreciate the offer. I'm not really going to use it. We're going to test it today, but in a mix, I would use this in a mix, but I don't think I'd use it I definitely wouldn't have a need for the post effects, because I'm going to put my own EQ in there, high low pass filters and such that aren't in here. That would just add too many steps. What's going on, dude? Anybody know what that's from? I can't be the only one that knows that. Oh! I need it. Where's an EBO when I need it? You guys ever play with an EBO? Those things are neat. Super neat. Really interesting. EBOs. All right, guys, we got a lot of people, hopefully a lot of people that are hearing some good tones. We got 11 people versus 17. They didn't like being called out. They didn't like being called out to jump in and chit-chat with us. That's no problem. You don't have to. That's the beauty part of being here. You don't have to talk, although I will harass you occasionally to chat with us and say hi. I noticed there's a gate here as well. That's pretty sneaky. That's pretty sneaky. I'm going to turn the gate off. And I use my own gate, right? And it's nice that they include it. It's just, it would be cooler if there was a thing right here. If you guys can see where I'm circling. It'd be cool if the gate was like right here beside the pan. That would be nice. That would be all right. Instead of having to go into the, into the settings and being like, oh, there's the gate. And a few clicks later, you've got it disabled. Why disable it, you ask? Well, if you want to use your own pedal, because in this case, they give you a pedal, which is radness. But it's nice if you want to put your own pedal in front. You're not going to want to have like a pedal, then a gate, then this, then that. That doesn't make as much sense signal chain wise. Definitely, you're correct. It is Metallica. Nothing else matters. Remember when that song came out? I was at ground zero. I had just started liking Metallica during the And Justice era. Like we'll say during the And Justice, just shortly after that came out. I ended up getting the tape and found my way to Metallica Glory and had listened to. And then of course I got all the other tapes. And I listened to all the other tapes. And when the Black Album came out, I remember the first song that made me say, what the fuck, was Nothing Else Matters. All of their ballads previously were like, you know, Fade to Black, where they were like power ballads. And Nothing Else Matters took a very long time to get to to gel with me. Yeah, that was definitely... At that time, I was actually playing the actual Foo Fighters riff. Something like that. I played it once in a cover band, a tribute thing that we did for a 2-show only Foo Fighters thing, but I played drums in it. So, but that riff, I learned a few of the riffs for fun. I like that song. It sounds good. I get the purpose. I know they wanted to include like something where you could do shreddies, and this one's gonna have probably plenty of demos. Oh, there's three cabs in here. There's a modern, vintage, and lead cab. I'm assuming lead cab has probably got more of an aggressive low cut. Let's see. Oh, let's set up this delay for shreddies. Not that I can shred, but let's just set it up anyways. Too fast. There we go. Oh boy. Nope. Guys, I can't shred, you know this, but I'm trying to give you guys the idea of what it would sound like if I could. Been practicing some legato stuff recently, and I think I'm starting to get a more of a handle on it. I used to have a pretty good handle on legato. So when I was in college, I was playing a lot of guitar because the course, I'm going to be honest with you, the course I was taking was pretty easy. And I was older when I went to college, so it was a course designed for 18, 19-year-olds, and I was in my 30s, and it just didn't take a lot for me to pass the course. So I played a lot of guitar, and during that time I was doing a lot of legato stuff and some tapping stuff, and it's starting to come back slowly. To be fair, I think Nothing Else Matters took a long time to gel with Hetfield. Yeah, I agree. It probably did. But I probably bet you it didn't take... I bet you it took as long to gel with those guys as it did to see the money just start fucking flowing in like a goddamn tsunami. Because that was definitely one of the songs that helped make Metallica go from really big to like fucking God-sized. That was one of the songs that just brought everybody into that band. No, but there's nobody that doesn't know that song. That's why when I heard, you go see that Drumeo video or that Larnell guy, it's like, It's so stupid. We've talked about this a bunch of times, but there's a Drumeo video where this Larnell guy, he's Canadian, he's around my age, and he's claiming that was the first time he'd ever heard Enter Sandman. He would have gone to high school. I think he's a couple years younger than me. He would have gone to high school at a time, like, there's no fucking way. If he played drums in high school, he would have jammed with somebody. And in Canada, Metallica, especially Enter Sandman and Nothing Else Matters, Whiskey in the Jar, oh yeah. Those get a lot of play on Canadian rock radio. There's no fucking way on this earth that this guy had never heard Enter Sandman before. No fucking way. So, anyways, I got to the point where, like, Metallica now, those are two songs that everybody knows. Everybody knows those songs. We'll try something. You guys get it. I once upon a time could shred a little bit, but the skills are no more. If you're in the chat, do say hi. I won't bite. We've got 12 people in here today celebrating the release of a really fun bundle. I really enjoy this bundle. I've always really supported what Bogren Digital was doing. And I can't say that I've always been behind the Amp Knob series. In fact, when they first came out, I remember emailing Bogren Digital going, what is this? Is this like a profile in a box with one knob? Like, I don't understand what's going on. And then I found out more about it. And I talked to, and I'm not, without saying too much, I talked to the coder and / programmer, whom I know very well. Well, at least the former, whom I know very well, and got really, and then I really grew to understand this series and what it was like, what the aim was, and I instantly got behind it because I knew it was being made with a lot of quality from a good place, and it wasn't just a profile in a box. So if you're out there and you're like, oh, it's probably just like a NAMM profile in a box, no, it's not. It's not any kind of just a profile in a box. Excuse me. Mark Swarbrick, nice to see you. Kind of excited. As you guys are aware, we talk wrestling here once in a while. And I was excited because one of my, a wrestler I enjoy, Elijah, plays guitar. Almost looks like a hillbilly version of Randy Macho Man Savage with bigger muscles. And he plays guitar when he comes out. He's got like a whole country vibe about him. Almost looks like Chris Stapleton took a whole bunch of steroids and got like six sets of neck muscles. And that dude's making a. I guarantee you're going to see him in the WWE within the year. I'm assuming. I don't watch TNA. I don't watch TNA and I don't watch NXT. I dabble. I skim, just to be fair. All right, so guys, what's your opinion on the BDM series? Are you guys going to go and at least try the 14-day free trial? What's the story there? Tell me what you guys are going to do and tell me what you guys are interested in. Is this something you guys are going to buy? Is this something that's not necessarily for you? We have the BDM 75. This thing absolutely rips. And let's test it. We're going to test it with our cabinet here. I just learned that on the spot. I never played that riff a day in my damn life. That riff is in my dreams, though. Book dish. I used to have this reoccurring dream from back in my 20s. After seeing Rammstein on kind of some videos, and one of the songs they played on this video I saw was Book dish. And I had this reoccurring dream where the singer was chasing me to the beat of the song, like and he was always behind me no matter where he went. So I could run around 9 corners, could run into a bathroom, and you just look outside the stall and it wasn't really a scary dream. It was just really weird. I shared that with my missus, like the first. She told me she was. That was actually literally what I said to her. I'm like, what bands are you into? And my missus now, when we first met, we were talking about bands, music, and she talked about liking Rammstein. And I said, yeah, I like them too. And then I told her, instead of telling her my favorite album, my favorite songs, I told her about that dream. And I think that was the first time, I think one of the first times I ever made her laugh. So I always remember that. That song is sort of kind of weirdly near and dear to my heart. I think it's great for folks who don't know how to dial in Marshall properly or don't want to waste the time. And let's be honest, if it's not an 800, some Marshalls are not as easy to dial in as others. And especially the JVM. The JVM has the guys were talking about it in the chat earlier today. There's like a million different voices for the potential voices for that amp. Lots of switches, lots of different things. And sometimes you just want to be like, how do I get to the good stuff? How do I get to the chugs? How do I get to that? And I like that they've catered each. There's 4 channels. That's the first time I've seen something like that. The 4 channels involved here, 4 modes, and the pedal. And this thing sounds really good, guys. Let's check this out again. Mode 3 is my favorite so far. Rudy, you said you have one in reality. How does it sound? How does this sound in comparison to that one? I'm very curious. Propaganda. We're talking about Marshall bands. This band, one of my favorite Marshall tones ever. Although he uses Friedman on all the new stuff, but still. He was already in WWE? A few years ago, he was Elias. He played his own brother. Okay, Kyle, you have to understand that I actually didn't know that. I didn't really know that. I wasn't watching the WWE at the time, so there's going to be a giant area of time where I have absolutely no knowledge of what transpired in that. I just remember seeing clips of the man from the past, and I am familiar with Elias. Now that you mention it. Wasn't he with that other dude? Who's the other guy? Who's the other fucking... Who's like the dark, mysterious... son of a bitch. He had there was a wrestler that I would just pick it up and watch it once in a while. Once in a blue moon, I'd watch it for like a half an hour and be like, this is not for me. Who's the dude's name? He was like a witchcrafty metal guy. Would have been... Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. I'm gonna have to think about it. Wasn't he like a whole part? Wasn't there like a faction of a bunch of like Jebediah and Jedediah and hillbilly named dudes that were all kind of like dork? Like dark as in like dark themed dudes? Am I not mistaken? What's this guy's fucking name? He's not in the WWE anymore. Oh, it's on the tip of my damn tongue. No, the JCM, the Dead Kitty's not based on the JCM 2000. I think it's actually a JVM, like a very, very stripped down JVM. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. It's definitely not an 800. Bray Wyatt, thank you very much. It was right on the fucking tip of my tongue, and I kept on wanting to say something, slay something, and I knew it was okay. That's awesome. JCM 2000 TSL. Okay, no, maybe you are right. No, it's the DSL. That's it. It's not the JVM, it's the DSL. I don't think it's the TSL. I think it's the DSL, if I'm not mistaken. Is that a thing? TSL or DSL? I can't recall. I know he made that plugin in a very short amount of time. You're right, though. Yes. No, you're right. Holy thing, this sounds gnarly right now. Yeah, it sounds great. I actually, you know what? I've come around on the JCM 900. I used to hate that amp, but I think 90% of my hatred of that amp came from a band that I actually did some teching for, and they toured with two 900s that neither one of them knew how to dial in at all. They just would like turn they would just all the time playing with different settings, but not really knowing how to set it up. And I would routinely just be like, guys, like, can I just try to set these up? And they'd say, no, don't touch my settings, bro. Don't touch my settings, man. Like, just set it up. It's all set up. It's good to go. You know, and they would make little marks for their settings on the tape and everything and be like, okay, all right. And so they sounded like shit, absolute garbage, these amps. They were really loud, but it was almost like a loud in a not a good way, to the point where, like, you know, the sound guy was often telling them, listen, guys, we're playing a pretty small venue right now and you're using two stacks. Like, can you guys, you're louder than the PA. Can you guys turn those down? And they would just keep turning them up. They would turn them down. They would do their sound check. And by the end of the fucking show, the sound guy would just come over to me and be like, guys, we're just going to turn them off. Like, their guitar volume is way too loud off the stage. And you should try to talk to these guys. I was just trying to talk to them and they wouldn't fucking listen. And then eventually I was like, guys, there was this off day. We were at some random's house that we were sleeping at, this guy, the promoter's house. And he let the band practice in his basement because the show got canceled and he felt really bad. And so the band we all stayed at his house. It was a good time. We watched a bunch of movies, got really drunk, and had a big impromptu jam. And during the jam, the guys got fairly drunk. And I said, guys, can you just, this one fucking time, there's nobody here, can you please let me set up your amps for you? And so I did. I set both amps up. One was like a nice mid voice with less bass, a little bit less treble. The other one was kind of scooped. And they sounded great. And for the like one more show that I was around, they used those settings. But this is going a very long story and saying that I had an irrational hatred of the 900 for a very long time because of this, but I'm starting to come around on it. And one developer actually teased me a long time ago with a JCM 900 skin and saying this is going to be our next plugin, but that was 2.5 years ago and it never came out. So I don't know if the JCM 900 just never came out or what, but it would be cool to see more takes on the 900. Because I've noticed a couple of the profiles here and there, captures here and there, and they actually sound a little better than I thought they did back in the day. What's your thought and what are your theories on the JCM 900? Should that amp get a little bit more love? Should it not? Tell me in the comments. Yeah, you're right, John. I do remember that now. Yes, all I knew was that it was based on the Marshall DSL. And so I actually completely forgot that was a JCM 2000. So it's a DSL 100 2000 model. Okay, so there that was where our disconnect was. So let's see my tube screamer versus their tube screamer. Let's also go in here and turn off that gate. Okay. Sounds pretty good. Let's try the other. Let's try the other screamer. Actually, I think the Green Reaper sounds better. Let's try the Atlas DSP DI crank. Whoa, nice. That cut. Ooh, wonderful. If you guys haven't checked this out yet, it's the Atlas DSP DI crank. You can get this for like $20 or something. It is not an expensive pedal, and it does the job. It does what it does really well, and I like it. I think it sounds fun. There's that asshole in his popper car again. And somebody asked me, why did the last stream get taken down? Is because the tones were not good. And the product I was showcasing is something I don't believe in. I don't really like it. I did not really like it. I was trying and trying and trying. I sat with the product for about 2.5, 3 hours that evening. And if the only thing I can do is, it was a set of pickups, not even going to bother naming the set of pickups now because I'm not going to shit on anything, but I think it's just, well, okay, I can. I'm just going to go ahead and say that Fishman humbuckers are not for me. Fishman single coils are for me, and the Telecaster set, the Greg Koch set, is unbelievable. And I put it back into my Telecaster, and I don't think it's ever going to leave because it sounds really, really fucking good. Like a really, really good sounding set of Telecaster pickups. I really like them. The humbuckers, I'm just constantly stuck in this state where I see all these guitar players using Fishman humbuckers, and I'm thinking, what am I missing? What am I missing? And I try another set, and I'm like, I don't really like this. And then I'm still in this state of, what am I missing? What is it that I'm missing about these? I tried the open coil nickel blades, thinking those were going to be the answer. Again, it just was not really for me. Are you guys Fishman? Are you guys Fishman friendly? Are you guys Fishman fans? In the comments, tell me. Do tell. I was really excited that I wired them up without one mistake, though. That was pretty cool because 2 push-pull pots in the install equals gulp. Because a lot of times push-pull pots and me don't really get along, but I really focused and I did it. It was awesome. I did the install. But that being said, my average ass Jackson, the pink Jackson, is going to be, again, looking for its forever pickup set. Very sad day. Very sad day. What do you mean a paid endorsement? You think that's not the only reason these guys like them? There's no way. There's a lot of people that really like Fishman. And holy shit, this DI crank sounds really good. We just happen to fall into this weird tone here with this with the JVM. Like, listen to how this cuts. Listen to how twangy it is, but at the same time, how driven. That's not very gainy. There's not a lot of gain there, but it still adds a nice push and punch to it. Yeah, Atlas DSP, newer company, really enjoying some of their pedals. Apparently, they have a few. I've got 2 of them, and both of them sound really cool. Also got a message from Revolt DSP today. Finally going to be testing their stuff in a stream. I I had been in a conversation with him, and I got into ranting a little bit about another scenario, and nonetheless, he didn't hold it against me. He's just a very, very busy dude. And he got back to me and said that, hey, I'm super excited to send some stuff over. So we're going to be checking out there's an update or a new version of his Evo amp coming out. I'm very excited about that. By the way, whenever we do, like, these are not sponsored streams. When somebody, this is a free, the free reverb I'm using, by the way, there is free. Please upgrade if you can. I think I'm going to upgrade. We use this enough where I think I should just activate it. I do believe they sent it to me anyway, so I should probably just use the full license they sent me along the lines. I'm not going to click that just yet because I don't know where the licenses are placed. Nonetheless, this is a pretty damn cool verb to have at the end of your chain. Do check it out. Melda Productions has some of the most complex stuff out there. So, as mentioned, when somebody sends me a plugin for free, it doesn't necessarily mean that... I actually had somebody rat on me and say, wow, man, I don't think it's right that he's using other developers in the same stream. You know, it's like, it is what it is. You know, and Bogren Digital, of all companies, knows that there are a lot of developers out there and that their products are going to be, especially the one knob, single knob plugins, these are going to be used with an avalanche of different IRs and an avalanche of different pedal plugins, especially the ones that don't have the boost, like the Rev C here. The Rev C does not have a boost. It'd be cool to get a boost in on this one. That'd be cool. I think it might be it might be boosted already, but not 100% sure on that. See you later, Bo. We're not going to be here too much longer. Fishmans are okay, the one I've tried anyway, but they don't do anything for me that EMGs can't. I find them very different from EMG. I find them very different, and it's really hard for me to explain the difference. There's just a difference, and there's this weird characteristic, this weird signatures characteristic that follows all of the Fishman sets. No matter which humbucker set you try in the Modern Fluence series or in the Modern series, there's this one thing, and I can't explain it. There's just this one little hump in the mids, in the low mids somewhere, that it seems like all of the sets have that I don't really care for. And that is where I'm going to put it. I find that the way that they chug is awesome. The best Fishman set I ever used was the Matt Heafy Signature Fluence Moderns, by far. They smoked every other set I tried, and I think I'm going to hang on to that set just in case I have one of those fleeting moments where I'm like, I need something different for this guitar or that. I think I'm going to keep this set around, and the rest of the sets are just going to go on. I'm not going to sell them. I'm just going to give them away probably to the people on our team here that do work a lot. They do help out a lot around here, so I'm probably just going to give them away to the folks on the team here since they were sponsor offerings, and it feels awkward to put something up for sale that if you get it for free. I don't like that. I've done it once and it made me feel icky. So I think I'm probably just going to give these to members of the team here and do it that way instead. Not going to do a giveaway because these have all been drilled out because my testing guitars are direct mount. So they've all been drilled out. So they can't even be adhered to pickup rings with mounting screws or anything like that anymore. You have to if you're not using a direct mount guitar, you're probably going to have a bit of a pain in the ass installing them. Hold on a sec. For 900s, the SLX is one to get, if I remember correctly. Well, I have to figure that out then. Ooh, what pedal is what? Oh, that's the Atlas DSP DI. Well, it says crank here, but grind on the pedal, so I don't really know. It's a very misleading. It's not the grind pedal because there's another grind pedal, but this is the DI. It says in right here, it says the DI crank. I also have the DI hell, that one as well. What I was getting at there though is that I like to blend developers and streams if I can, especially when it's, you know, if it's creating a deadly tone. I'm not just sandwiching these in here to throw them some props, you know, and to piggyback some props on top of Bogren Digital or anything like that. It's not what I'm doing. I have certain things that are always living in my chain, and one of those things has become the DI crank because it just does You guys can just tell with that nice little bump it adds. So here's without. Man, that sounds great. That's really great sounding, guys. I'm currently in the chain, and we went from just using the plugin to building our own chain. And so in the chain currently is the Atlas DSP DI crank, along with the Bogren Digital Amp Knob BDM 410 JVM, and our own impulse response, which is the ML SoundLab Mars Mofo gnarly mix. We've been using it basically the entire time throughout, on and off throughout the different plugins. And man, this is based on that awesome Mode 4, that MF 100 cab, this big beefy bastard. And it is an awesome sounding cab. I have a friend of mine that had this cab, and it was one of those cabinets that you could put literally any head on top of it, plug it in, and have that cabinet be like, oh, it just, no matter what head you put through it, no matter what type of tone you were trying to get with it, it always sounded awesome through that cabinet. I wanted to buy one super bad until right just shortly after I kind of ran out of reasons to be in a band, and I ran out of reasons to have analog gear. I had nowhere to play it. I was collecting dust in my house. I had nowhere I could play it. I was living in a fourplex. I had no band to jam with because I just didn't have the time to be in a band anymore. And so I just had no reason to go and purchase analog gear. So I'm always looking to get my hands on packs based on the cabinets that and amps that I would love to own, but can't because of random scenarios or just don't have the need to do it. It's not an expensive cab. I could probably find one. I could probably buy it. For what? It would sit and collect dust. And I'd be like, look, I got a cab. It's awesome. I'm not going to do anything with it. It's just going to be an awesome. Wouldn't that be great? Put a cab in the background and just use it like a shelf. That'd be kind of interesting too, though. There'd be something to be said for that. Let's look into it. How's it going, Elmira? Nice to see you. What is the BDSM plugins? I knew someone was going to do it. I fucking knew someone was going to do it. The BDM 75, the BDM 410 JVM, which we're currently using, and the BDM 800 bad boy. Do. I like that song still. I do. I've loved that Billie Eilish song since the very first time I heard the. I've been hooked. I've listened to it a lot of times since then. Beefy. No, I don't like mode 4 as much as I like mode 3. Mode 3 is the shit. And we're using a single chain that we made from scratch here, and it doesn't really take a lot. And this goes to show the versatility can be built on with these plugins. It doesn't all have to be in the box. You don't have to look at it as if like, oh, that's really kind of simple. I mean, I kind of need a little bit more. Well, you've got a lot of other plugins, and let's be honest, with the suite style plugins being what they are and including what they include, a lot of us, or a lot of users that are getting away from using pedal plugins and getting away from building signal chains, and that to me is just bullshit. Because building signal chains and coming up with your own signature sound and secret sauce. It's kind of weird that I said secret sauce just as I did this motion here, but you get it. I'm holding the invisible orange instead. The secret sauce and the signature sound that you're known for, as opposed to something that is just all inside one box. Let's be honest. I'm going to be straight up with you. There's only so many sounds you're going to get with 2 cabinets, even with 4 modes and a pedal here. There's only so many sounds you're going to get. And there's no sound you're going to get inside that box that sounds like the one that we just made with the Atlas DSP crank pedal and the IR. It's a completely different sound than anything that's available inside the box. Yet it keeps the amp as the star of the show. It enhances the amp's top end, which is something that, I'd be honest with you, like I said, I'm lacking those treble and presence controls that I normally really like to touch on Marshalls. So if I want to add a little bit more bite, this DI crank did a really good job of doing exactly that, along with the ML SoundLab Mofo gnarly cabinet that we're using here. We made a really nice tone. Man, that sounds great. It really does. So bravo to the fellas over at Bogren Digital. I was going to say Atlas DSP, sorry. Well, bravo to Atlas DSP as well for being a new developer on the block and coming at us with some stuff that we can actually fucking use. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. They didn't just release some amp sim that, was like they knew was going to be just a drop in the bucket. You know what I mean? There are a lot of, let's be honest, there are a lot of, not a lot, but there are a few developers out there that are releasing these plugins that if they're doing their market research and if they're figuring out what they're competing against, they should probably know that the plugin they're releasing is just a drop in the bucket or even a drop in the fast moving rapids these days that is the amp sim industry. What these guys did was they came out with a couple of pedals modestly priced and said, here you go, check them out. No pressure to use them to use them with any amp sim you want. No pressure. And these sound really good. So cheers to Atlas DSP for just coming out with something people can actually really use. Cheers to Bogren Digital for coming out with something also that people can really use. The people that like Marshall sounds, that don't want to do a lot of Marshall dickering, I can tell you that all of these sound really great. These all sound super good. Yep, the bad boy is huge. Valo Virtus amp. I've heard several people mention this fella's name since the beginning of, since these came out the other day. But I talked to a lot of people about amp sims. What are you going to do? And I don't know a lot about this fella. He's a YouTuber, he's a creator, let's just go look him up. Whoa. Oh, this dude. No. Yeah, this guy. Okay. Never mind. I've seen lots of this guy's content. I just didn't know what I was watching, I suppose. I watched a whole bunch of his stuff on Instagram. I get it. Okay. Totally get it. All right. That's okay. Now that we're good. Have I been practicing? I can hear improvement. Yeah, sure. I've always, when I have time, which is not that often. But thank you very much. Appreciate you. Actually, no, that wouldn't be how it goes. It would be this, and it would be all the way up, and I would have to turn this off. It sounds wonderful, guys. It sounds really great. Really great. And the bad boy here, yes, this amp here has a bunch of different stuff on it. It's a surprising inclusion of way more fucking knobs. There's like 6 fucking knobs. There's switches too. Just kidding. But seriously. Oh, I got the double IR thing happening. We didn't test this with our... Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Calm down. I would argue to say that this one is this one, if there has to be a weakest link, there always has to be a weakest link. The other two are absolute nail drivers. This one is, it's just really cool. There's a difference. And you guys know the difference between nail driving fucking awesome and really cool. So you guys be the judge though. Get your 14-day free trial. I'm going to jump on out of this bitch. And I'm going to be back on fucking Friday, Saturday as typically the usual. Actually, wait, that's a dirty lie. Dirty lie. So this Saturday's stream is going to be Sunday. And I'm going to be doing it Sunday morning, pretty early in Eastern Standard Time, because Saturday I have a disc golf tournament and it starts early and I'm going to be bagged by the time it's over. Plus, there's, I'm going to be honest, there's a WWE event that night as well. So we're going to get some pizza and have a good time. Get that Big Mac pizza we were talking about the other day. Excuse me. Cleans? You got it. Before I get out of here, I will definitely do some cleans for you. You realize there's only one amp that can do it, and we'll do that right now. Let's see what we got. Little out of tune there. What are you going to do? So the only amp that I think can do some pretty nice cleans is the JVM, the JVH, the 410 JVH here. It's pretty cool. It's cool. It's got that clean tone, and it's got a clean tone that's actually serviceable. It's not just your average clean tone on a Marshall, which is normally just capable of classic rock. And it's like, it doesn't ever go full. This is the clean that you get, okay? That's it. You don't get a clean tone. It's a Marshall, for fuck's sakes. You get less distortion. That's what you get. So yeah, this is definitely capable of doing some really nice clean tones if you need them. Which guitar? Frederick Tella. Nice to meet you. Thank you for commenting. I appreciate you. This is a Meinzinger Tempest, and this is one of our sponsors here on the channel. As you can see, if you're interested in the Meinzinger guitars, check them out. Give you a look here closer. The back of the neck is absolutely insane. These are all individual pieces of wood, by the way. This is not just like, that's not painted on there, folks. And this is all done CNC free. This is all done by hand by one of the most brilliant dudes I think I've ever met in my entire life. It's got wonderful lumen lays. It's got Jesco gold frets. And the pickups are Aurora Tone ultraviolet neck and an Aurora Tone singularity bridge. Check out Aurora Tone pickups as well. This guitar is become a part of me. Yes, they're a sponsor of the channel, but at the same time, and yeah, sure, you can call me a shill. I guess shill's only if people don't know you're hustling. And I think we put the logo everywhere, so it is just part of the channel at this point. This is Grapes. It's my nickname for this guitar is Grapes, named after Don Cherry. And man, it's just become a part of me, man. I cannot tell you. And the price on Meinzinger guitars is insane for what you get. $2,500 US gets you a build slot, and that's a base level model with a bolt on. But still, if you go on to Meinzinger Guitars Instagram page or his Facebook page and see some of how he builds his guitars, puts videos on there all the time. Man, this dude is talented, and I really appreciate people that do work that I could never do. Never. And I mean fucking never. Okay? When it comes to working with wood, I might as well have bricks for hands. I am terrible at working with wood. The only thing I end up doing is cutting myself in some way, shape, or form. So to have somebody build something like this with their hands, it's just insane to me. I'm probably going to copy some of his ideas. My friend has a guitar brand, Ricciolino Guitars. I don't know about copying some of his ideas. If you're going to copy ideas, well, then again, you're overseas. I don't know. I don't advocate for copying ideas as much as like using ideas maybe for inspiration to do your own, like, you know what I mean? I would never say, because I know his necks are very unique to him. It's very, very interesting. And this Tempest shape, it was his take on a Telecaster shape, which I know it's got this has enough horn. The horn on this is gigantic. And this guitar does not weigh as much as you might think. But yeah, do look into Meinzinger Guitars. Daryl is a really, really awesome person to talk to. Loves talking about his creations and his work. So please do check him out. Yeah, so there's your clean tones, Ton. Yes. I never suggest, I mean, I realize in the custom guitar market, there's a lot of overlap in features and stuff like that. However, I would say go and check out Meinzinger, because even though you're overseas and it would be like you'd be importing it, I really do feel like the price is seriously, it's insane. This guitar, it would be, as I'm told, worth about $3,200 Canadian. Okay, that's how much it'd be in Canadian funds. In American funds, I think it'd be closer to $2,800 or $2,900 or something like that. Maybe worth closer to $3,500 Canadian. So if in case you're wondering where this falls in like versus the baseline build, ratio tuners, locking tuners go on most things. He likes to put Fishman in his guitars. This originally had a set of Fishman Fluence Classics in it, in gold. And you'll notice he built the charging right into it. But then I didn't really want the Fishmans, but it was nice to keep that there, just in case I ever want to put a set of actives in here. I can go right to this, and then I can charge even EMGs. I can power even EMGs with this charge right here, which is pretty dang cool. I can promise you Fishman pickups will never go in this guitar because I just don't dig their humbuckers that much. But there is a chance that a set of white EMGs may go in this guitar someday, and that just for funsies, we'll see. But I think these pickups here are going to be married to it forever. All right, so guys, what do we do today? I'm going to go ahead and give these a good solid 9.5 or real close to a 10 ski. If the 800 was just a pinch better, this would be a 10 ski for the series. The 75, the BDM 75 is going to get a 10 for me. This thing is, for what it is, awesome. And you might be thinking, how do you give it a 10 when it's so stripped down? I give it a 10 for what it is, not what it isn't. Okay? If I was to sit here, and you can't really put this up against a full suite, because the full suite, you know, if I'm rating this versus a full suite, this would get more like a 7 or like a 6.5 or 7. But I'm not doing that. I'm putting this, I'm giving it its own score based on what I'm getting from the plugin, and that's the sound. As far as the price and the sound and the feel go, this thing is fucking awesome. Absolutely awesome. The 410 JVH is also going to get a 10. A fucking 10. This thing is a 10 for sure. I really enjoy it, and I will use this again for sure. I can't wait to use it again. The 800... gonna get more like a 7.5 for me. I just find it lacks a little bit of life in comparison to the 75 and the JVH. That's just me. You guys can make your own. You make your own. Write your own scores up. Let me know what you guys think, or if you've already tried them, let me know in the comments as well. Plexi cleans are the best Marshall cleans. Yeah, I agree. I came into this thinking the Rev C would still be the top of the heap for the aminos. For the aminos. I know what you're saying there. The fucking knobs! Knobs! Gotta get a few more out. Let me get one more out before I go. Fucking knobs! It's fun. It's just fun. Thank you so much to Bogren Digital for always supporting our channel. Thank you so much to Jacek. I'm gonna have to ask him phonetically how to say his name, because I'm thanking him enough that I really should be pronouncing his name properly. Someone shows you kindness and you're saying their name at any point, I would probably learn how to say their name phonetically. How do they say their name? Say a person's name like they say it, unless you don't have like the linguistics to say it. You know what I mean? MLS 0. Yeah, next time out, I think I'm going to use the Bogren Digital MLC amps. I think those will be maybe Friday. We'll do some gainies. We'll do some high gain stuff, and we'll find some fun stuff to do. Maybe some high gain modified Marshalls, like the we'll use the 2 MLCs. We'll use Fortin Nameless Suite. We'll use something else while we're in the mix. Maybe that could be fun. Maybe it could. All right. Maybe we could use, no, I'm not going to use that plugin. It's kind of not that good. We'll figure something out. Anyways, I will see you guys Friday around 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. Then I will see you guys on Sunday for some twang in the morning. I'm going to have my Telecaster here. It's going to be loaded. It's finally loaded up and set up to perfection. I spent about an hour with it the other night, and it is just sounding so great. So I can't wait. Sunday morning, roughly, probably in the ballpark of... Actually, I don't know. I can't exactly say. There will be a stream Sunday, but I just remembered I do have also a few other things to do. So let's just take it at the seat of our pants. Friday, we'll make sure it's an extra long stream just in case Saturday and Sunday do not allow. So it's Friday, 4:30 Eastern time. I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being part of our community. And as I like to say just once, do hit that like and subscribe. We do appreciate it. If as always, if you know one person, just one person that might enjoy what we do here, please do send them our way. Also, if you're a creator out there and you want to do some content in exchange for plugins, get at me. The ampsimuniverse@gmail.com, as I do some artist relations for a few developers, and I can make sure you get some stuff and you can get some shares from developers. It's always a win-win. All right, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I will see you guys next time. Cheers.